Governor Rick Perry took Texas took the need for cutbacks seriously since the new state budget draft slashes over almost $14 billion in spending. Shouldn't the federal government learn a harsh lesson from the Lone Star State? Texas Rep. Kevin Brady introduces the Cuts Act to shrink Washington spending by more than $150 billion, and he joins us now from D.C. Thanks for joining us, sir. So, $150 billion. What are the odds of that getting through Congress, Senate, and then finally getting signed? Where are you cutting back? First of all, let's start with that one. Where are you cutting back?
Well, first one, we don't have a choice. We're so deep in debt. Secondly, I hope we can pass it because while it sounds like an awful lot of money and Congress hasn't cut that deeply before, it's really just a down payment to get us back to a balanced budget. We're going to have to go much farther than that. And bottom line is, we took a number of the savings and cuts that were identified by the Bush and the Obama administration, identified by the President's Deficit Commission, that both Senate and House Republicans and Democrats lauded and commended, put it in a bill, and basically said, look, if we want to have a test case on whether Congress is serious, this is the bill to go forward
so
on.
So
I'm hopeful.
Give us some details, Representative. Where are you cutting to come up with $150 billion?
You know, there's some pretty popular things: freezing the pay of Congress and the White House, cutting our budgets, selling excess property, denying unemployment benefits to millionaires. Everyone's going to be supportive of that.
Those are the freebies. Those are the freebies.
That's the easy.
Go ahead.
Exactly. Reducing the size of the federal workforce 10%. Sends a strong signal. And I think cutting procurement at the Department of Defense, requiring the military to become 15% more efficient when buying anything, from their supplies to the equipment to weapon systems. You know, I'm strong on defense. I think every agency can be more efficient. And frankly, we're so deep in debt, there can be no sacred cows, period.
Representative, 10% on the federal workforce, that comes out to right around, I guess, 200,000. What about 20%? What about
I think
400,000? By the way, that only brings us back to about 3 or 4 years ago, where the federal workforce was 3 or 4 years ago. It's really not that dramatic to cut 20%.
I don't think it is. And the way it's designed, which is basically through attrition, you only replace 2 out of every 3 job openings. To me, that seems like almost a very leisurely reduction. And businesses have had to cut much deeper than that. States have had to cut much deeper. At the end of the day, to get back to a balanced budget, I think we're going to have to go farther.
What about, all right, so $150 billion, that probably will represent somewhere around, I don't know, 8% of the new debt that we're going to be saddled with going forward. How do we get $500 billion in cuts? After all, the deficit, the debt we're going to add to the deficit this year is going to be somewhere around $1.3 trillion. We need bigger cuts. Where do we do that?
We do. No question about it. And obviously, not only rolling back the size of government that's been bloated the last 2 years, taking a look at every program, eliminating obsolete agencies and those that duplicate others. But we're also, to bend that curve, we're going to have to find a way to deliver Social Security and Medicare more affordably. It's all got to be on the table.
Thank you. We're going to say thank you now to Representative Brady. By the way, I recommend 20% cuts instead of 10% cuts. So appreciate your time, sir.
Got it. Thanks, Eric.